Welcome to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as your facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any point throughout our session today. Second, your camera and microphone are off, so we cannot see or hear you. Third, this is just one of many different sessions that we're offering, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded. You'll have access to that recording within about a week or so. We have a great lineup of colleges, including Bard College, Rutgers University, Long Island University, St. Joseph's University, Pace University, and New York Institute of Technology. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter from Bard College. And Katie,
Thanks, Jasmine. Thanks for having me
perfect.
tonight. I should know to turn myself off mute by now, but it happens frequently still. I'm really excited to be here and share with you a little bit more about Bard. My name is Kate Hardy. I'm Senior Associate Director of Admission at Bard. I use she, hers pronouns, and I'm also a Bard alumna, class of 2007. So I had the experience as a student and have now been working in the admissions office for about 15 years. I work based in New York City, so I work pretty exclusively with students who are applying to Bard from the 5 boroughs. I live in Woodside, so if you hear the ice cream truck or fire truck, that's the reason why. It's proof positive. But I'm really excited to be connecting with students from Brooklyn Tech. And I read all of the applications from again, the public high schools in the 5 boroughs. So I'm excited to stay connected with you beyond the very short amount of time that we have together this evening. I chose this photo really intentionally for my cover photo because I think it represents actually in one photo a lot about Bard. And there are a lot of sort of favorite things that I have to mention about it, not just the socks, which I think are a great representation of how Bard students express their individuality. And Bard is a really eclectic community of students from all over the world who come from all different backgrounds. And Bard is a really creative community. And we have a really wonderful presence of the arts within our academic programs and within our campus culture. And I think that that is a really important thing to highlight. But in the background is Manor House, which is an 18th century mansion that's one of 3 manor houses on our campus. And it now, it has a really interesting history, but it now houses a residence hall and a really important social space for students on our campus. But I think harkens back to sort of the classical elements of our founding and the fact that our liberal arts and sciences education is really rooted in a classical liberal arts and sciences education. But in the foreground is a really modern contemporary sculpture called Stargon. That's the structure that the student is lounging on. And Bard has always, I think, offered a really wonderful and dynamic juxtaposition between those 2 worlds, between classic liberal arts and sciences learning and contemporary boundary pushing individuality. And I think a lot of that is represented in this photo really dynamically. So it's part of why I like to start with it. This is all 1,000 acres of Annandale and Hudson. So Bard is the only thing in Annandale and Hudson. It used to be Bard in the Montgomery Place estate, which functioned for many years as a historic estate. But as of 8 years ago, we purchased that land in some ways to protect it from development, which was a really important part of Montgomery Place's ethos. But it also expanded our ability to sort of grow our facilities over time in supporting not just our students, but in terms of how Bard engages locally and meaningfully on a more global scale. And that's a big part of our ethos too. The body of water at the top is the Hudson River. The mountains across the way are the Catskills. We're located in New York's mid-Hudson River Valley, about 2 hours north of New York City, right on the, not right on the Amtrak train line, but 15 minutes away from the Rhine Cliff Amtrak station. So it's about a 2-hour trip from New York City, regardless of how you cut it. So it's a good balance between being able to draw on the resources of the city while really having a quintessential central residential campus. But I do like to talk a little bit about how we think really intentionally about the space that we occupy, because I think we've done a lot of meaningful work reflecting on the history of the land that we're on. Again, we're the fusion of 3 different Hudson River Valley estates, which have a really complex colonial history. And I think we're really mindful about that history, and not just the privilege of having the beauty of such an incredible campus, but also the history, the more complicated and painful parts of that history, like the history of slavery in the North, and the history of colonialization in the Hudson Valley. But it is an incredibly beautiful place. This is the Blythewood Garden. It's the same view that you see behind me. These are just some fast facts about Bard, so feel free to just take a look at them. What I think that these facts really suggest is that Bard students really take ownership of their experience. So we have 1,900 undergraduate students at Bard. We have very small graduate programs that do not conflict at all with the undergraduate student experience. Our average class size is 14 students, and there's an average student-faculty ratio of 9:1. So faculty teach at Bard because they want a collaborative mentor relationship with their students, and students really are an active participant in their educational experience at Bard, and every student at one point or another participates in one-to-one learning, and this is especially evident in our senior project. And students really have a lot of ownership over the campus life too. We have 180 student-run organizations on campus, and 100% of student convocation funding gets handed to the student government to advocate to those student organizations by the students themselves. And so it's a really entrepreneurial place in that sense. We also exist beyond Annandale in really important ways, the most dynamic of which and the most public of which right now is the Bard Prison Initiative, which is the largest prison education program in the country. Watch College Behind Bars. It's an incredible documentary, executive produced by Ken Burns, about that program and its distinctive nature. And that was started by a student when he was a sophomore. We structure by division, so our academics are highly interdisciplinary. There's a lot to choose from. We have a really important core curriculum that gives students a really strong foundation from which to grow from, and also from which to individualize their educational experience and tailor it to their particular needs. We have over 50 different programs of study, all of which are listed here and on our website. Again, 180 different student-run organizations, and a few unique ways to apply. It's important to know that Bard's been test optional since 1969, and there is no fee to apply. We give a lot of financial aid, and it works. 96% of students are employed upon graduation. So thanks again for having me. Take good care.
Thank you, Kate. Let me see. Hi, I'm Teresa Mahoney, the New York representative for Rutgers University, New Brunswick. Let me share my screen. Can I ask if it's on, Jasmine?
Yes, it is. It is not full screen, so. Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. Yep, so there's my contact information. I live on Long Island, so I am close to Brooklyn. So I'm local, happy to assist you all. Wish we could all meet in person though, hope we can in the fall. So Rutgers University, New Brunswick is the flagship state university of New Jersey, and we're known all over the world as a premier research university. You know, we're the 22nd public university in the country, number 41 in the world, and of course, number 1 in New Jersey. And we're rooted in history, founded in 1766, back in the colonial days, before the Revolutionary War. It's the birthplace of college football too, back in 1869. We beat Princeton. And we're proudly in the Big Ten Athletic Conference with 24 Division I teams. You may have seen that our men and women basketball team made it into March Madness. It was a very exciting time. And here's New Jersey, and you can see that New Brunswick by the big R is between Manhattan and Philadelphia. We're in the heart of New Jersey, a hub of 75 corporate headquarters like Johnson & Johnson, and hospitals like Robert Wood Johnson in St. Peter's, So there's many opportunities for internships, jobs, and entertainment. There's a train station that goes through campus into the city in under an hour, giving you independence, and you can come home on your own. So it's very convenient. We do have a big overall campus, but it's divided into 5 neighborhood campuses, each with its own residence hall, dining hall, gym, library, classrooms, at least 11 research centers and institutions, and bus stops. So there's a free bus shuttle that takes you to all of these different campuses. You can see the Raritan ribbon is the blue river that goes through it. And it's an interesting variety of environments. Like at the top, those 2 campuses, Bush campus and Livingston. So that's more suburban. That's where the big football stadium is. The RAC is where the basketball teams play, an Olympic-sized pool, School of Engineering, pharmacy, and businesses there. In the middle is the College Avenue campus with a city vibe with restaurants and theaters, museums, shops. And then at the bottom is the Cook campus and Douglas campus. That's more rural with vegetable gardens and livestock farms where students raise and study pigs, cows, sheep. You can go and pet horses. The Mason Gross School of the Performing Arts is there. Institute for Women's Leadership, Douglas Residential Campus, College for Women is there. So it's not just a city school because we are in the metro area. Rutgers is big and exciting with 36,000 undergrads, 16,000 live on campus. And we are the most diverse of the Big Ten colleges. And we welcome all students from all walks of life, all varied beliefs. We value everyone's different perspectives. We enjoy over 600 clubs, 80 fraternities and sororities. We have the largest Jewish student population of any public university. There's special interest communities and housings that are available to apply to. And hopefully next year we can get back to having some study abroad courses. These are the different schools that you can apply to as a freshman. We have 7 schools and they each have their own academic profile. So they're the grades that they're looking for. So you can apply to up to 3 on the one application. We're on the Rutgers application and the coalition application. We're not on the common app. We do have proudly small classes. About 60% of our classes have less than 30 students. We do have over 175 research centers, and freshmen can start right away looking into projects with a group or on their own with the professor. We have an excellent career center that assists with internships and jobs, 84 placement rate within 6 months of graduation. Here's our big football stadium, and everyone's wearing their red gear. We are the closest D1 football stadium in New York, and that's our Scarlet Knight mascot. We are test optional this year, and if you get your application submitted by December 1st, you will be considered for merit scholarships. So that's important. So thank you very much. I hope to see you this fall. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Tatiana Marshall. I'm one of the undergraduate admissions counselors here at LIU, Brooklyn, right down the street. I really wish and hope we'll get back to a time where we can meet all of your wonderful students in person. I'm going to tell you a little bit about LIU. I don't want to take up too much time, and I want to make sure we get some good information in there. So, Long Island University stems across three campuses. Let me just click. It stems across our Brooklyn campus, our Post campus, and LIU Global, which is one of the most unique uh, degree paths we have. So you have LIU Brooklyn. We're about one stop subway stop from Manhattan, 11 acres self-enclosed, as well as we host and hold one of the only college of pharmacies in Brooklyn, which is over 125 years old. If you're familiar with cereal, LIU Post was once the home of the Post Cereal Company Harris. We have 330 acres out in Long Island and Brookville. We're about 18 miles away from NYC and about 8 minutes from the beach. Now, for LIU Global, it's in a very unique BA of Global Studies where you're able to study abroad for 4 years across 5 different continents. Your first year is actually in Costa Rica. And students who usually go into this major usually want to work in the UN, internationally, UNICEF, and very world active things. Now, we have a student teacher faculty ratio of 12 to 1. We do promote small class sizes to make sure that you're getting that individualized attention. So we have over 200 areas of study, but I just want to highlight a few. A lot of our information can be found on our website, but I just want to make sure I mention we have the first inaugural class coming up of the Rock Nation School of Music, Sports, and Entertainment that is founded by Mr. Jay-Z himself with LIU. So if you love music, art, vocal performance, audio and sound production, please, please, please check us out. This is going to be one amazing program. We are one of the most known in health professions and nursing with amazing programs in DMS and respiratory care and other professions such as physical therapy as well. As I was stating, our pharmacy program, our lovely white coat ceremony is being displayed here. We have the College of Veterinary Medicine, which is also a dual degree, 6 years. If you love animals, we actually have an equestrian center at our post campus. So students don't have to worry about going out. We do have and care for animals on campus at our post campus as well. We have artificial intelligence that's coming up as one of our most competitive degrees, especially in medicine and engineering. So if that's something that interests you, we definitely have it. And something we promise is to make sure we have a customized plan to make sure that you're successful. And that's LIU's promise to you. And you can check us out more on our website with that information. We have over 70 clubs and organizations, which include honor societies and Greek life and student clubs. And we are Division 1 in athletics. So I just want to make sure everyone knows I'm Miss Marshall. You can reach out to me for any other questions and definitely check us out on our website for more detailed information.
Hello, all. My name is Brad Simon, and I serve as the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission at St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I work directly with all students of New York City, as well as their families, to help them throughout the entirety of their college selection process. When it comes to St. Joseph's, we're a student body of about 4,500 undergraduates, as well as additional master's and doctoral candidates, all within one happy family of Hawk Hill, as we call ourselves, as we are the highest elevated point in Philadelphia. And we do have two hawks named Crimson and Gray, also our school colors, who actually reside in our bell tower. So when it comes to St. Joseph's, we are a Philadelphia school with a little bit more of a suburban vibe. We have a 125-acre campus, which helps our students to have that true campus community feel, but with great access into downtown Philadelphia life for everything from research to internships, part-time jobs, cooperative education, cultural experiences, which I do classify cheesesteaks, concerts, and festivals under. And all of this is accessible to our students, and we will help ease them into Philadelphia life. In terms of our class sizes, we have an average of 23 students with an 11-to-1 student faculty ratio. This is not going to be a school where you're going to fall into the background and sit in a lecture hall of 600. We keep our classes small so that you can have connections not just with your faculty, but also with your peers. Our student body represents all 50 states as well as 50 nations. So as much as you're learning from the faculty who hold the terminal degree in their field, you will also be learning from your peers as they've been probably raised differently and have a different belief system. As far as beliefs go, we are founded as a Jesuit Catholic institution. So we do welcome all walks of life and everybody who, whatever you believe, but our foundation focuses on lifelong learning and social justice, social impact. So that's interwoven through start to finish of this experience that we offer here. Our students are really involved, taking part in a variety of organizations and clubs. We have Division I athletics in the Atlantic 10 League, as well as club and intramural sports, and then additional clubs to fit your interests. So everything from Irish dance to a baking club to honor societies, Greek life, campus ministry, service work. We work with our students to see how the trends are going and to support their interests and also their aspirations to try something new. Just looking at the class of 2019, we see that within 6 months of graduation, they were employed, 97% of them, were employed full-time, going on for additional education or committed to either the armed forces or a volunteer-based program like the Jesuit Volunteer Corps. And with that, over 65% of our graduates left with a double major and or multiple minor combinations. That's important for you to know because we have a variety of programs, but when you're admitted to the full university. Our Hobbs School of Business, which offers 16 different business programs, all AACSB accredited, offering cooperative education. It's like an internship, but full-time and paid experiences that we help them define as an option, not a requirement. Then there's our College of Arts and Sciences, which houses the vast majority of our majors, everything from English to communication and media studies, theater to non-native languages, theology. There's a lot in there, as well as some ever-growing programs that we've created to just support our current environment. So that includes actuarial science, computational engineering and applied physics, data science, and more. And finally is our School of Health Studies and Education, which houses all levels of education. Those students will be in the classroom all 8 semesters that they're here on campus, as well as our Autism Behavioral Studies program and our Health Studies program, which is a great preparation for physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, radiological studies, and much, much more. But as I said, we are a major blind school, so you don't need to worry about having your life mapped out. We're going to be there to help you and to help you find the passions and interests that really help you to set the world on fire, as St. Ignatius once said. The way to apply is to work with me. You can use the Common App or the St. Joseph's application. I don't have a preference. I just want to learn about you. So we just ask for that application with a letter of recommendation at 1 at a minimum and your transcript. From there, you get to share the rest of your story. So I want to hear about your extracurriculars. I'd love to read additional letters of recommendation. And test scores are not required, but if you feel like they add value to your story, go ahead, share those with me. And you can see our middle 50% profile just to the right with middle 50% students having a GPA between a 3.38 on a 4.0 on a 4.0 weighted scale. That's about an 88 average plus. SAT scores, we do super score, and you can self-report or provide those, and that's an 1160 to a 1310 versus an ACT. We see the middle 50% had a 25 to 30. If you want to know more, connect with me. Like I said, I'll be your admission counselor and also will serve you as a financial aid counselor. It's a one-stop shop here on Hawk Hill. I want to be there to support you and your family through the entire process. So you can join this journey with me by coming for a virtual tour online, or you can come for an in-person option. And we do want you to know it's very much an experience here. So 85% of our undergraduates were enrolled in some portion of in-person classes this past fall, even more for the spring. And we are looking for a pretty much return to a full in-person experience as soon as we can. So thank you all for joining us tonight. And I hope you have a great time. And I hope to see you on Hawk Hill in the future.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alexa Dalbus. I am one of the admissions counselors here at Pace University, and we have such a short amount of time together tonight. So I really like to spend my 6 minutes emphasizing what sets the Pace education experience apart from all of the other schools that you may be considering during your college search process. Now, one thing that really sets us apart is the implementation of our Pace Path goal setting system, which is designed to serve as your blueprint to success during your time on campus. And it all starts in your University 101 course, which is a course that's designed to teach you how to be a college student and help you transition during those first weeks on campus. In your University 101 course, you begin building your PACE path, and it consists of various sets of goals within our 3 key categories, which are personal development, professional development, and academic development. And this system really ensures that all of our students walk across that graduation stage as well-rounded and market-ready individuals that are destined for success in whatever their next chapter holds, be it continuing their education or starting a career. Now, I do always like to emphasize that the PACE path is flexible and is designed to change along with you all across your 4 years on campus. So regardless of what you end up doing, you know that when you walk across that graduation stage, you're going to be set and feeling confident about your future. Now, I do want to take some time to dive into those 3 sections of the PACE path that I mentioned, beginning with academics. One of the greatest things about PACE is that here you're always going to be a name. You will never be a number. Our average class size is 20 students, and that only gets smaller as you progress through your major. Some majors even work their way down to 8 or 12 other students in a class, so you really get that personalized education experience in every single one of your courses. Now, in terms of the different programs that we offer, over 150 different majors and combined degree programs across all 5 of our undergraduate schools of study, which are our College of Health Professions, our Dyson College of Arts and Sciences, our Leuven School of Business, our School of Education, and lastly, our Seidenberg School of Computer Science and Information Systems. We do have 5-year combined degree programs designed to save our students time and money pursuing a graduate degree. Those are available throughout all 5 of our undergraduate schools of study, as well as combined 3+3 programs available with the 3rd of our 3 campuses, our Elizabeth Hobbs School of Law, located in White Plains, New York. So lots of opportunities here at PACE, lots of different majors to explore. We also have our Pforzheimer's Honors College. There are perks that come along with being an honors student. You do have access to exclusive courses, trips, and events, early course registration, as well as a guaranteed minimum of a $15,000 scholarship. So it really does pay off to keep those grades up in high school. In terms of getting hired, we've got your back. Our career services office, they do everything from one-on-one career counseling, help with creating resumes and cover letters, tips and tricks for online and interpersonal networking, mock interviews, etiquette workshops. They will teach you how to shake a hand. They will even let you borrow a blazer if you don't already own one. So really there to hold your hand from point A to point Z in the application process. And these services are what we like to call PACE for life. So even 10, 15 years after graduation, you're able to utilize our career services office in every single way that you did as a student to make sure that you are successful right on through retirement day. In terms of another thing that sets PACE apart is the fact that we have 2 campuses all for the price of 1. Our New York City campus is in the heart of the financial district. You're steps away from Wall Street and the Brooklyn Bridge, really immersed in everything that the city has to offer. However, we're condensed into a 5-block radius, so you're still get that college community kind of campus, home away from home feel, even though ultimately New York City is your campus. And these are just a few of our different student spaces on campus. And then about an hour north of New York City, we have our Westchester campus, the more traditional of our 2 campuses. You have the grass, the trees, the student quad, as well as our Division II athletics, kind of like what you see in the movies. But like I said, it's a 2-for-1 deal. Regardless of where you end up, you are able to move freely back and forth between the 2, eat in the cafeteria, study in the library, attend campus events and club meetings, even take courses on the alternative campus at no additional cost. We're also located off the Metro North train line, so very accessible to the tri-state. Plenty of to do outside the classroom as well. Over 150 different student clubs and organizations to get involved with over a wide variety of interests and areas. In terms of a PACE education, we are a school, but we make things affordable by providing 95% of our first-year students with financial assistance. Our average student receives over $26,000, or just about $26,000 every single year. Our net price calculator and our merit scholarship estimators, great tools in terms of seeing what a PACE education might cost you. Very standard application requirements here at PACE. I do like to mention that we are test optional. So we only need that online application, your transcripts, your letters of recommendation, and that personal statement. No test scores required. Lots of application deadlines available for you: early action, early decision, school of performing arts, nursing, regular decision. Check back on our website. Those will be updated over the summer. And there is my contact information. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. More than happy to help you through this process. Thank you all so much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Eustache. I am here representing New York Institute of Technology, and I am one of the assistant directors representing the Manhattan campus. New York Tech is one of the most popular STEM schools in the New York area. We consist of two different campuses, one campus located in the heart of Manhattan in Columbus Circle, and another campus out on Long Island. The biggest difference between both campuses is that the Long Island campus houses our medical programs, because we do have our medical school on that campus. A few fun facts that I'll share with you today. New York Tech, between both campuses, we have about 3,700 undergraduate students, which leaves for a pretty medium to small class size and a student to faculty ratio of about 11:1. We are a truly dynamic school. Within the classroom, you'll see a lot of different types of students, and we've been voted by US News top 3 within the past couple of years as schools of diversity. And we represent 90 different countries and 40 different states. We've also been voted by the Chronicle of Higher Education, number 7 highest mobility rate amongst private schools. I won't go over each and every one of our majors, but we are broken down by 6 schools, and within those 6 schools, we have 90 different majors. Some of our most popular and newest majors: applied computational mathematics, construction engineering for anyone that's interested in civil engineering or working on managing construction sites, exercise science, and physics. And we are proudly mentioning that we do have our newest PhD in computer science. So students can start from their undergrad, master's, and then go on to the PhD level as well in our engineering department. Now we have some great combined degrees. Some of the biggest ones are medical, from life sciences, occupational therapy, all the way to our biggest one, which is our doctorate program in osteopathic medicine. That is a 7-year program. One of my favorites, though, at the bottom is the school counseling master's psychology undergrad, which is a 5.5-year program. Also, we have a ton of different 4+1 programs in several different departments. As I mentioned earlier, we have the engineering school that allows that, also the business school, and a few of our art and science majors allows that as well. And of course, we have a ton of different minors. Unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity for students to double major, but we always encourage students to enhance their degrees by adding a couple of minors if need be. For example, if a student is studying engineering, they'll tack on a mathematics minor pretty easily by taking a few additional courses, and that way they can add on maybe another or 2 more minors as an addition. We have a ton of different state-of-the-art facilities. Some of the most popular, our 3D motion capture lab, the Hive, which is in Manhattan. We have a simulated stock room also, which is on the Manhattan campus. Our biggest facilities out on Long Island include the mechanical engineering labs, as well as some really interesting computer science labs as well. Now, as far as student services, we provide a lot of different types of assistance. We provide counseling and wellness for students that are having issues within the classroom, having issues outside of the classroom. They're there to speak with you confidentially and keep everything between you and them. They're there to support you as best as they can. We also have our Career Services Center, which does a lot of different type of advanced work with students to prepare them to go into the open market when they start preparing for their careers. They do mock interviews that they record and they go over them with a different counselor so that you can kind of highlight the things that you're doing well and help you correct the things that you're not doing so well. And as a result, our students are extremely successful. 94% of our students are working within 6 months after 6 months of graduation within their respective fields. And about 77% of our students are doing some type of internships. Of those students, 81% of them are receiving job offers from the organization that they did the interning. And of course, the cost is quite important. Our total tuition is about $39,000 or $40,000, but we do offer a good amount of scholarships. Students will receive an average of about $30,000 with a financial aid and scholarship, and our scholarships range from about $18,000 to $30,000. If you're all set to apply, our application requirements are pretty simple. Your high school transcript, test scores, we are test optional, but if you had the opportunity to take the exams, you can go ahead and send that to us. One letter of recommendation and your college essay. We have a ton of different events for you guys to join us with. Please sign up for any virtual one-on-ones and join us for our on-campus tours. And of course, please keep in contact with us if you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of our amazing presenters. Now we're going to go ahead and transition to the Q&A portion of our college fair today. I want to encourage all of our presenters to return. Feel free to turn your cameras on, and I'm going to pose a question to the group. Our presenters will respond in the order in which they presented. The first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And so we're going to start with Bard.
The best advice I think I can give is to just keep an open mind. You never know, there are thousands and thousands of colleges out there. It's a process of discovery, of self-discovery, and discovering lots of amazing different places. So just keep an open mind about the different places that can support you and your interests.
Yeah, I think I would take there's so many ways, but I think to visit the campus if you can. At Rutgers, we're not having in-person tours, but many of the colleges have really upped their websites that are offering great virtual campus tours. I'm putting mine down, explorerutgers.com in the chat box. But I think, that's been a way to really give you an idea of what the campus is like. Is it a city college? Is it a college in the country, big, small? And look at the people in the background because you want to see if you feel like you can fit in too. So good luck. It's exciting.
A piece of advice that I just received from one of my colleagues before the session, she talked about, as selective as we sound as admission counselors, as the college process can be as selective on us as we are on you. You have every right to ask questions and be hard on us to make sure that this is the right fit for your needs, your interests, and your family as a whole. So be nitpicky with us. We're here to help you figure out the answers, and it's my expectation that you challenge me to learn along the way. There's a program I don't know about, that means I need to learn as well with you. So ask away.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump in. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure there was no background noise. My biggest tip to any student looking for colleges is please do your research. We do not expect you to specifically know what career you want to go into. Your mind is going to change, but at least come to the table and say, I've done research on your school. I heard about your program. Now I'm torn between these two. Can you explain? And I do agree with my previous colleague, challenge us, but I want to see that you came with some research. I want to see that you took the time to know exactly what you're going to ask and how we as the school can make you successful. because we are only successful off the base of our alums and our students. So we want you to come here and we want you to do amazing things. So do your research. Okay. Okay, I'm done.
Absolutely. Great advice. I also like to remind students that ultimately these are your next 4 years, not mom, dad, grandma, best friend. So you need to step on a campus and feel like you can call that place home, because ultimately you're going to be the one living there and you're going to be the one attending that school, going to class there, hanging out, making friends there. So you want to make sure that it's going to be a good fit for nobody but you, because that's what's most important in this process. And we are ultimately here to, make sure that you end up at that best fit school. So ultimately, if you don't come to our school, we're not going to take offense to it, because we want you to go wherever you're going to thrive best.
Those are all great, great points of advice. And it's tough to be last now, because you guys covered basically all of it. But what I would say is be yourself. Especially now that we're not able to come out into the schools and visit, we're not able to get to know you face to face. So be yourself. We really take on and reading your recommendation letters and reading your personal statement and trying to get to know the type of student that we're bringing into our school, so that we can overall help you become successful. So be yourself, express yourself as best as you can through those essays. And any way that you can ask those different types of questions that will help you find the right fit, ask away. I think now we're more available than we were in the past with virtual meetings, online, different types of online meetings and things of that nature. So take advantage of that. And as Tatiana mentioned, do your research. It's really, really important to know what your end goal is. Picking a major can be difficult, but if you know your end goal, it'll be that much more easy to pick a major. Or just tell us what your end goal is and we'll be able to help you figure out that major. Because sometimes I get a student that asks a question and they have no clue what that major is. And as a few of them mentioned, you'll change that so many times. So just know what the end goal is and we'll be able to help you find out if this is a good fit for you.
Great advice from the group. I'm going to go ahead and pose our second question. And again, we'll start with Bard. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
This is a hard question to answer in some ways, because I think Bard is the kind of place that doesn't hold fast to tradition. And so there's very little of Bard that is the Bard of 1860. And I think that that's largely a good thing. 1860 was a bad year for a lot of people in this country. And so I think it's a good thing to evolve from your origins. But there are also a lot of things on campus that are really student driven that have become sort of special collective spaces that I think I still really enjoy as a staff member, even though I've been out of my Bard experience for 15 years. And one of those is the Surrealist Circus, which is a really sort of unconventional thing to happen on a college campus, but I think it's just a really wonderful celebration of Bard students' performance skills, their creativity, their pushing of boundaries, their activism, their politics. And it's just a really awesome thing to show up for in October and bring your family to, and see, your fellow Bardians doing things like aerials from 60 feet in the air and breathing fire. So, and you can learn how to do those things. It's a training circus. So if you don't know how to do those things, it's a great place to learn how to do those things too. So that's one of my favorites.
At Rutgers University, New Brunswick, it's a New Jersey thing, I think, a fat sandwich. So it's just a fun, it's all meats, cheeses, toppings. I don't think it's really for me, but I know a lot of the students like it. And all of like the food trucks and the foods that's available on the College Avenue campus. So something to explore. Fat sandwiches.
So I'm going to speak about two traditions that I think were somewhat of a trap, but I enjoyed being caught in it. One is Midnight Madness, and that's where we give away $10,000 in prizes. Students win laptops, and we stay up till midnight, and oh my goodness, it is the best thing in the gym you've ever want to do. See, You can go to the gym for different things, guys. Now, the second one is homecoming. Because of the food and the seeing the alumni come back to campus and meeting them, and they're talking about their experiences. And we usually have springtime ponies just around that time, so the ponies get to come down and meet all the students, which are just adorable. But the food is the best part because all of our students get to explore everyone's culture. And I think that's very heartwarming. I think that will be agreed upon all of the reps here. When you get to share cultures and students can understand and break down those stereotype barriers, it brings a better campus community together. So both those events help us to understand who we're dealing with and understand those empathies that should be implied. So we do have a cultural awareness week right before these events as well. So those are my three, but I do enjoy every part of it with the food. That is just a personal thing.
On Hawk Hill, we have a tradition, the hawk will never die. Our mascot is the hawk, and you will notice that it is always in motion. The student who represents us actually receives a full tuition scholarship to always have one wing flapping at all times, which is pretty unique. In fact, the only mascot that receives a full award for always being in motion. An extension of that with the food, we have our own signature wrap called the Hawk Wrap with a top secret sauce. And that's just a great thing to pick up when you're here for a visit. And then after that, go for a great cheesesteak. We've got the Kobe special just on our corner. Kobe Bryant's favorite cheesesteak shop is right on our campus, but you can always go down in downtown Philadelphia and get your typical Pat's and Geno's, or D'Alessandro's is around the corner too.
So keeping with the food traditions, we have something called Midnight Breakfast at Pace, and it takes place every finals week. And it's basically just a big celebration and morale boost in the middle of finals week. It takes place in the library, which is open 24/7 during finals. And there's just big, massive continental style breakfast buffet. There's music, there's games, there's giveaways and prizes. And it just really lifts everyone's spirits in the middle of a tough week on campus. So that's definitely my favorite tradition.
One of my favorite things in New York Tech is the spring fair. We have a fair every year on both campuses. On the Manhattan campus, it's a little bit more difficult, but we close down the entire block. We have a ton of different booths, a ton of different types of food because we are a huge cultural university. We have different games, different interactive things. We give away a lot of prizes. I've won a few prizes myself, so I truly get in there and enjoy myself playing some of the games and interacting with the students and other staff and faculty members. It's just really interactive to see all the students just take that weight off of their shoulders from the academics and, have some fun and, get to know each other on a different type of level. So that's one of my favorite times and events at New York Tech.
Thank you all for sharing. With that said, this concludes our virtual college fair for today. But I have a few closing announcements. As you exit from this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 4 questions or so, but please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings in the future. Also want to remind you to sign up for additional sessions by visiting our registration site. And again, you will have access to this recording within about a week or so. With that said, I want to thank our amazing panelists for joining us. And I also want to thank our attendees. I hope everyone has a great evening. Again, thank you.